Hey there! What a time we are currently living in, isn't it? Wherever you are in this journey, most of us are in a lockdown and self-quarantine because of this virus that is spreading. And first thing I want to say is that I hope you guys are staying safe, that your family is healthy, and you're doing whatever you can to protect yourself and others around you. So I want to definitely say that at first. And obviously, I'm in the comfort of my own home with my comfortable shirt, but I think most of you guys know that I usually do these videos in home anyways. Obviously, the only difference is I have this headset in only because now my partner is working from home, and you might hear sounds collide if I let this go. But I wanted to hop on video because this is a unique time. And with everything going on with a world filled with such anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, it's really easy to transfer that energy into dating. So I want to hop on this video to talk about how dating affects, well, not dating affects, the virus affects dating and what you can do about it. So the first thing I want to talk about very quickly is in regards to mindset. And if you've followed me long enough, you know that I've talked about mindset in regards to dating so many times. But what I want to say in regards to our situation is be aware of where your mindset goes in regards to our current situation. Like I said, this is a time that, especially if you turn on the news, you can be easily filled with fear, and this does not feel comfortable. And I want to challenge you to practice shifting your mindset, that when it gets to that negative point, when you get really low and you're a little scared, to shift it and see this opportunity for growth. And when you get stuck, or when you get uncertain, or feeling anxious because you're just alone and more isolated than ever, really ask yourself two questions. How do I grow from this? Right? How do I utilize this opportunity for growth? And ask yourself the question of, what do I have control over? I feel that it's always important to recognize what you do have control over. And well, the quick answer to that is you. We don't have control over what is happening, and how things are going to be done and what's going to happen next. And we're not psychics who can predict the future. But what you do have control over is the now. Like right now, you're listening to this video. You have control over pushing play and learning about something different and new that isn't, just about the virus solely, but trying to learn how it may affect dating. So you're already actually answering those two questions. How do I grow from this? Which is, well, maybe I can grow because I have time now. So I'll listen to one of Ruby's videos about how this virus affects dating and maybe learn from it. And then the second is, what do I have control over? Is you at this moment sitting there and learning something different. So I want to quickly say that really quick because I feel that mindset is so important. And if you practice shifting your mindset in a way that utilizes this time, this free time that we have now to really reflect, learn, and grow, if you shift that perspective, it really changes all of this drastically for you and doesn't make it such a horrible experience. And if you do that, that shifts into dating as well. All right, so enough of that. So how does this virus affect dating? Well, the first thing I want to say is it's really easy to think that dating has completely stopped because everything else has been canceled. All events have been canceled. All the stores, restaurants are closed. But I want to remind you guys that no, dating is not canceled. Connections are not canceled. Conversations are not canceled. Wanting to love is not canceled, right? So if anything, in this time, we crave connection more than ever because we rarely get it. And the only way to really get connection at this point is if you happen to see someone at a grocery store and you have those very short moments of human connection with the cash register person, or online. There is still a way to connect with others without seeing each other in person. And some of you may already doing that with your friends or family virtually with FaceTime, Google Hangouts. We live in a time now where we have the internet. Thank goodness. But there are definitely ways to still date and connect and meet others without being, having to meet offline or in person. So, as you can see, that was really cut off. Like I said, working from home, right? My partner just walked out, and then the speaker you could hear was really loud. Anyways, continue on. I always do these in one takes, once again, I'm trying to be as authentic as I can, not scripted. So that was not scripted, but I'm back. Anyways, so there are still ways to connect with others without having to meet in person. Now, first thing is online. You guys, online dating is still a thing. People, if anything, right now more than ever, are on their phones, and that's where online dating takes place. Now, if anything, there might be a delay in some responses, maybe if the lockdown is still a new thing, but people are still messaging. Now, the only thing that is different is, yeah, you can't meet in person as fast as you used to. And if anything, the messages and the messaging portion of it and getting to know each other just lasts a little longer. But that's okay, right? You just have to work on continuing to get to know each other virtually versus having to see each other in person right away. And that goes to my second point, which is plan virtual dates. Right? So if you start messaging with someone that is new and you really start to like them after the first or second week, get creative. Say that you want to meet, say that you want to date, but with everything that's going on, plan a virtual date. You can cook separate dinners and have a dinner virtual date and still Google chats or FaceTime each other and eat dinner with each other or have a movie date. Get creative. This is the time. So with that, I also want to mention that if you've ever really resisted or hesitated or had a stigma towards online dating, this is probably the time to reduce that. Because with all my current clients right now, online dating really hasn't changed too much for them. Maybe only a little bit in certain moments, depending on the state that you're in and if you just, got on lockdown, because there's some adjustment to that. But other than that, people are still online, people are still messaging. So if you've been focusing on offline, I highly suggest to try and shift it to your online focus now. All right. So first thing I want to say is you can still meet others and date, but utilize online dating. Second is plan virtual dates. And third is make sure to discuss, do not avoid. So what I mean by that is don't pretend like this virus isn't here and not part of our everyday lives. And if you want to see someone and you're messaging them and you have interest, make sure you say and validate, gosh, I wish I could meet you in person. Like if we had that opportunity, I would totally invite you to my favorite ice cream shop. But since we don't really have that, I still want to meet you. Would you be open to like a virtual date? Or bring it up as a discussion. So how are you taking on this virus? How has it been affecting you? How do you feel about it? Support each other through this. Don't avoid, especially if you already met her right before this whole lockdown happened. So if you already met her one or two times and you want to continue that momentum and that chemistry, but you're really afraid that this might kill the relationship, don't. Don't be afraid if it's going to kill your relationship, because quite honestly, it's not. As long as you continue connecting and being honest and being open and asking her, how do you feel about this virus and us? Do you still want to connect? Like, let's FaceTime. Like I said, let's continue talking. And that way you can have an open discussion. Don't just avoid it. People take this virus in different ways, and you want to help each other out, support each other, and walk both of you through the process, especially if you just met and you really want to continue that. See how she feels about that and how it may or actually may not really change this relationship that you're starting to grow. Okay, but that's really it. It doesn't affect dating that much. That's all I have to say. It only does affect you if you're trying to offline date and meet people outside. Now, is that still possible? Yes, because obviously we get out for essential things only. There are people around, obviously, but yeah, you don't have as much opportunity anymore. So offline dating is kind of hard. Cold approaches are hard, limited. I don't want to say hard, actually. You can still do it, but it's limited. And the only other way it affects dating is you just unfortunately can't really hang out in person that much. But hey, use this time to get each other excited to see each other, and don't be afraid to flirt when you're messaging and say, can't wait to actually see you. I'll definitely take you here, here, and here, and we'll definitely do this. Add some excitement so that both of you are excited for when this is over, and that way it brings more hope into this and knowing that this will pass. This will. All right, that's all I got to say for you guys. I want to hopefully keep this short and simple. Sorry for that slight interruption, but that's the point that we're at right now. We're all in self quarantine, most of us working from home. Take care of yourself, you guys. Stay safe. Keep yourself healthy. And I wish you and your loved ones the best. But once again, just continue the connections, get out there and recognize this is still possible. Don't think that dating has stopped or been canceled. Thanks, guys, for listening.